You're kind
awesome,
of holding someone to the fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly what the missing link is.
Yeah.
So that's why I feel like, as integrative medicine doctors, like we need more health coaches to help support patients through these journeys, because lifestyle transformation is not easy.
No.
And this is exactly what people need.
My name is Jon Levine, and I'm a certified health coach determined to help people reclaim health and happiness. My approach to health is compassion and looking at the whole person and understanding each person's unique set of health issues. I can and will help you reverse the chronic health issues you're dealing with. I hope you enjoy my show, the Hol Truth Podcast. Thank you for the support, and God bless you, my friends.
Welcome, everyone, to the Hol Truth Podcast with Jon Levine, powered by Shackley, creating healthier lives, natural, safe, and 100% guaranteed. And by Dean's Natural Food Markets with 5 locations in Ocean, Shrewsbury, Basking Ridge, Chester, and Metuchen. Ancient wisdom meets modern medicine. Today, my guest, Dr. Minal Vazirani. She is a triple board certified doctor in internal medicine, pediatrics, and integrative medicine, making her uniquely qualified to treat anyone from infants to adults from an integrative and holistic medicine perspective. Dr. Vazirani is also a certified yoga teacher and Reiki master, and has further training in Ayurvedic medicine, meditation, functional medicine, and clinical homeopathy. And welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Jon.
Thank you for coming on. I have to apologize ahead of time if you smell my dragon breath. I just had some kimchi with a lot of garlic, a lot of onions, and a lot of ginger. So
those are all awesome Ayurvedic herbs.
I know. Yeah.
Garlic, onion, and ginger.
I try to eat my kimchi and that's how I get my probiotics.
Yeah.
But we'll get into that. But yes, seriously, my breath must be on fire.
All good.
It's all good, right? It's healthy. So here's what we're going to talk about: integrative and functional medicine, and we're going to get into Ayurvedic medicine, which is right up your alley, right?
Fantastic.
You ready?
Yeah.
All right.
That's my world.
So, but first, before we get into it, so what's your story, your background? How did you get into this? I know we talked about it on the phone, but
yeah,
how did you get into this crazy integrative holistic world that you're in now, which I think is absolutely the way to go,
Absolutely.
which we both know.
There's no better way. So I actually decided I was going to be a doctor when I was 5 years old. And my grandma was a big influence in my life. So, all my other friends were getting orange triaminic and Flintstones vitamins and, asthma inhalers. And what did I get? I got like turmeric golden milk, and I got, onions and garlic and, coriander and cumin and all these other things. And I was raised with food as medicine. And as I pursued my medical career, I went the traditional way. I went to medical school looking for answers for root cause healing, and it wasn't in medical school. And so I was like, you know what, I need to go deeper. And I want to combine what my grandmother's wisdom was with the best of modern medicine. And so I went to medical school, and then for residency, I said, you know what, I want to help all the children. I want to be the best pediatrician out there.
Right.
But then I'm like, you know what, I got to be able to influence the lives of their parents, because who's bringing in the Cheetos and the Doritos and Diet Coke? It's their parents. So then I decided to do what's called MedPeds, internal medicine, to treat adults and pediatrics. And then if that wasn't enough to be double board certified, I decided to do Ayurveda, integrative medicine, and functional medicine, so I could really combine the best of all worlds. And, that led me to the hospital world. Of course, I think hospitals are realizing that people are looking for integrative medicine, and I was in a perfect place to be translating for the doctors what the patients are coming in with, pages and pages of internet printouts of I think I have leaky gut, doctor. And they're like, we don't know about this.
Doctor, be careful of Dr. Google, right?
Right.
You can have a lot of things. I have 5 million things, by the way.
Yeah.
Well, no, I really don't.
Yeah, so that was me. I was the bridge between both worlds. So I worked at Atlantic Health for a while, and then I worked at Barnabas Health as their medical director for integrative medicine, and that's where we met our common favorite person, Nikki Yelton.
Yes,
she was
shout
my
out to Nikki.
first shout out to Nikki.
Hey, Nikki.
She was my integrative nutritionist at Barnabas, and then after that, I was like, you know what, I can really serve patients well by hanging up my own hat, and I started my own private practice in Warren, New Jersey, and I still go to the hospital once a week. But what's been amazing about this is I could truly combine the best of functional medicine, which is what most people are familiar with and come in with the best of ancient Ayurveda.
When we say integrative and functional, are we talking about like integrative, like holistically, like we integrate Eastern and Western medicine, and functional is what works?
No, that's not exactly. Like integrative medicine, I think, is the biggest umbrella, and it includes different modalities, whether it's acupuncture and TCM, Ayurveda, yoga, meditation, functional medicine, being a branch of it. But what I've been realizing through, my lifelong education,
how did you know at 5 years old you knew you were going to be a doctor?
I just knew I was meant to be a healer.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
And it was a long journey, but I remember my kindergarten teacher actually came to my med school graduation because she was such an influential part of
that's cool.
my journey. Yeah, I remember telling her I'm going to be a doctor in kindergarten.
It was meant to be.
Meant to be.
And here you are.
But here I am. So then as I go through this, crazy long journey, I'm realizing what my grandmother taught me about Ayurveda is really what functional medicine's all about, is that, all disease starts in the gut. Lifestyle should be medicine. It's all about, yoga, meditation, exercise, how you eat, when you eat, what herbs and spices you're cooking with.
Who you eat with.
Community.
Who you don't eat with.
Exactly.
Don't eat with a fighting married couple. That's bad energy. Get out of that situation.
Yeah.
Don't be at that table.
Exactly.
But I threw that in there because, as a health coach, I am a holistic health coach. I went to IIN, and that's what they teach you, is that health is not. People think about like, I need to exercise more, I need to move, I don't sleep well, I need to eat well, and that's part of it, obviously. But the other part of it is definitely, like, as you said, there's so much more.
Yeah.
Home environment, like, when you eat, how you eat, what you're eating,
right.
how you feel about the eating, just
absolutely
right, who you're with, social life, what you do for a living, do you love your job, do you hate your job?
Absolutely.
It's really like a little bit more complicated than, what am I supposed to eat? And I have clients that say, okay, what am I supposed to eat? And I'm like, not really that easy. I'm like, I could tell you the healthier options, for sure, but there's a reason why you're going towards these unhealthy options. Yeah. And it's the primary nutrition that drives the actual food, because it's never about the food, right?
Right.
I mean, from what I can tell, it's almost never about the actual food, ever.
Yeah.
It's about what is going on that drives you to go towards the bad food, and why are you not going towards the good food?
Right.
Would you agree?
Which is what mind, body, spirit medicine's all about, right?
Yeah.
It's not just about the body. It's like you got to take care of the mind and the spirit. And that's who you eat with. That's, where you're sleeping. Is there, is it Manhattan with like all the ambulances blaring, or is it somewhere peaceful like you down the shore? I mean, I just feel like just being here for a day down the shore is like brought my cortisol down like 10 notches.
Stay. So you're staying for the weekend. We got to find you some good food.
There we go.
So so we're like-minded, and that's great. And that's what I like to put on. And listen, you're on the Hol Truth, all right? HOL, holistic. So that's what this whole thing's about. It's what works.
Yeah.
It's what works. So when your patients, what do you typically prescribe them? Like, do you prescribe them medicine? Or do you prescribe them? Do you say you need to meditate? You need to do yoga? You need Ayurvedic medicine?
So what we do is we actually give them a lifestyle prescription.
Right.
So if you're talking about prescribing a medication, like my assistant was like, "Oh, you have one of those?" Like for the first time yesterday, I pulled out my prescription pad in like a year. because someone had
Love
a
it.
parasite. I needed to give them an anti-parasitic medicine because they didn't want to do the herbal, remedies and things like that. But I rarely pull out my prescription pad, once or twice a year.
I love it.
And
I love
it's
it.
mostly going to be
love it.
a mind, body, spirit lifestyle prescription.
So in this particular case, that's cool. So this person has a parasite, and you prescribe them herbal remedies, and they did not want to do that?
They decide they're doing other Ayurvedic approaches. They're doing yoga, mind, body.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on, and this is just one piece where I use the best of both worlds of medicine.
Right.
Like, okay, doing an herbal protocol is going to take 6 weeks. It's going to be overwhelming, and so she decided to take the best of modern medicine and do a 3-day anti-parasitic. So that's the beauty of combining, functional medicine, allopathic medicine, and Ayurvedic medicine is I can see, what's going to have the most long-term effect for her.
Right.
But in the short term, this is what she did.
And what's nice is
And
she had the
I
option.
meet people where they are.
Right.
And so if someone is ready for, I want to do, a gut cleanse, I want to do the herbals, we're going to go ahead and do that. But
So it sounds like, I always say we have 2 ears and one mouth for a reason. So it sounds like in this case, she or he did not want to. The great thing is that at least this person had the option.
Mm-hmm.
They knew about the options. And at that point, they chose, okay, the 6-week protocol would be a little bit too much.
Yeah.
And it kind of came from them. Okay, you heard it. It was going to be too much. So it's going to be a 3-day, a little bit more of a,
Yeah, and the beauty is like the patients I get, they know like all the worlds of medicine, right? I get the doctors who know there's a better way. I get the pharmacists who know there's a better way. I get the the big pharma people who know there's a better way.
Oh, now we're really getting
I get the health
interesting.
coaches who know there's a better way,
Yeah.
and they want someone who can help them, navigate that journey.
That's a perfect segue into this. You're you called yourself the doctor's doctor. I remember that. You
I
are a
don't call myself that, but
I'm calling you the doctor's doctor.
That's what other people have called me.
But I want people out there to understand that there is a better way, and that you do not have to be stuck in this vicious, awful, conventional model that we have, which I go on my rants, but I have to, I want people to understand that system doesn't work. It just doesn't work, and you don't have to be stuck in that system. There are people like you, there are people like me who will look at the whole person and guide them and coach them and prescribe things that are better for them.
Yeah, and this is how I tell my patients, like of course there's a role for modern medicine, right? If you or your wife breaks their leg, you want to be in the best ER with the best orthopedic surgeon. There's no amount of arnica I can give that's going to reset a broken bone.
Right.
So there is a great role for acute care, modern medicine, but what we've failed in modern medicine, and my pharmacology binders from I went to med school back in the day of like handwritten notes.
Who is
binders.
funding those places? That's the problem.
But yeah, so they're not good with chronic disease management, and where integrative and holistic and functional medicine Ayurveda comes in is we try and prevent it in the first place and get to the root cause, which we are not able to do successfully in modern medicine.
Well, we're going to change it.
We're going to change the world, John.
You got it. Well, you're already doing it with the integrative, and that's the. But here's the thing. So this stuff works, and as people, as the population start to see a better model, a better system, they'll want that.
Yeah.
They'll get tired of being stuck in. I'm not really bashing the doctors necessarily, but I think if you've gone to medical school in this country, you're under the roof of the pharmaceutical industry. They fund the entire school. It's biased towards them, and it's big business, but it's not necessarily. There's a pill for every ill and an ill for every pill, right?
Yeah, but that's what we're striving to change is
Right.
that the answer lies far beneath that. That's just the tip of the iceberg, right? Like we're about how does someone sleep? How does someone, what's their stress level like? What are they eating? Who are they dining with? Like you said at the beginning.
Yeah.
It's all about lifestyle as medicine and empowering people to take back their health and not rely on just pills, right?
Yeah. It's the fast, crazy
Yeah.
world that we live in, right?
Yeah.
Fast food, fast pills. I need something quick. I don't want to think about it. Let me take the magic pill.
It's a slower medicine, but it works. And I mean, the cases that we see, like, people come back and they're like, I can't believe I went to like all these specialists in Manhattan and Philadelphia and, all over New Jersey. I went, suffered with this for like 20 years. And here I am, like, finding my lifestyle is my medicine.
By changing their lifestyle.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. Because we don't have the answer. So like something like fibromyalgia, for example, or, rheumatoid arthritis, like a lot of these like, achy, painy type of issues, like people like end up getting antidepressants for fibromyalgia if they're going down a conventional road.
Yeah.
And that's not the answer. Yeah. Like the answer is, well, let's look at their mitochondrial health. Let's look at their sleep. Let's look at their micronutrient status.
Yeah.
Right? Like let's look deeper.
I think you got to, right? It's not we know it, but that's interesting. So I'm trying to push that stuff. So you have doctors that come into you that actually that know that they're what they're doing is actually not,
because they've lived it, they've tried it, they've prescribed it to they're like, this is not the way to treat my migraines and ADHD. This is not the way to treat my IBS and colitis. Like I want to do, like you're probably familiar with elimination diets and healing the gut. Like in Ayurveda and functional medicine, like the gut is the center of the universe, right? So if we help them with, managing their gut healing process and figuring out, like me eating like, whatever, some sort of inflammatory cereal every day and then a sandwich for lunch every day and then pasta for dinner is just not working, and we pull out these inflammatory foods, their gut gets healed, their mind gets healed, right? Because you have so many of your neurotransmitters being created in your gut. So their mood gets better, their autoimmune disease gets better.
It's amazing.
I mean, it's just such powerful medicine.
Well, food is medicine. Food is the best medicine, for sure.
Yeah.
What you put in your
Life
body.
is your best medicine.
Say it?
Life is your best medicine.
Life, yeah.
Well.
My wife's on an elimination diet.
Oh, yeah?
And she put me on the couch last night. She wanted to eliminate me. I don't know what I did wrong, but so.
That's a part of it.
I'm joking, actually, when she did not put me on the couch. Anya, if you're listening, I love you. It's not true. We bicker a little bit, but we're like an old married couple. But no, she's great. That's a joke. That was just a stupid joke. I have a great marriage, everyone. Don't worry about it. Everything's good, 95% of the time. So the Ayurvedic, that's interesting stuff to me. So let's get into Ayurveda. Sure. So Ayurveda, right? There's the 5 elements. Should we get into the 5 elements?
We can. I brought some show and tell stuff too for you.
Oh, I like it. So let's go. Oh, I know what a singing bowl.
Yeah.
All right. So yes, you got some goodies. What do we have here? A singing bowl.
So let me tell you for a moment, like what Ayurveda is. It's based off of 5-element theory, and then they combine that into what's called doshas. Right, so Vata, Pitta, and Kapha.
What am I, by the way?
So I would have to do like a tongue and pulse analysis.
Can we do that?
Yeah.
Can we do that?
We could do that at the end.
I want to figure, am I an alpha? No, I'm just kidding. I'm a Vata, Pitta, and Kapha.
And a lot of times people are combinations, so it's not as,
Oh yeah.
So this is the whole thing about bioindividuality.
Right.
So why does one drug not work for everybody? Why does one diet not work for everyone?
Right.
It's because everyone's a unique individual.
Yes,
so
of course.
Ayurveda takes into account your prakriti and vikriti, which is, your initial state that you were born to be, and then life happens and throws you off balance, and where you are today.
It's cool stuff.
And helps you re-achieve homeostasis, right? So it's very
balance.
Balance.
Getting you back into balance within the universe.
Exactly.
The way you need to be.
Exactly.
Yeah,
for you.
Cool.
So what's good for you may not be the same as what's ideal for your wife, right?
Yeah.
So
one person's food is another person's poison.
Exactly.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way it works. You have to spend the time.
Mm-hmm.
That's, to me, there's a lot of things here. It's a little bit complicated. It's easy in a way, and it's also a little complicated. Mm-hmm. It's complicated because you have to spend the time.
Right.
And to me, that's the biggest challenge that I see out there, especially with social media. We were just talking about social media, and social media is powerful, and we're going to plug this podcast, and we're going to get it out there. But there's more. So there's more social media. There's more avenues of communication. There's more of this and more of that, and more choices and more options. And that becomes a problem because now no one has time.
Yeah.
They feel like they don't have time. I don't have time to take care of me. I don't have time to go to the gym. Mm-hmm. You gotta slow down somehow, some way. And I was telling a friend this same thing. You've got to try to slow down, and that's where the meditation comes in.
Right.
Where your mind is racing so much that your body is leading your mind. So like eating, for example, like you start eating, and your brain can't even catch up to what it's doing.
Right.
Because you're not sitting down, you're not chewing with your teeth.
Right.
And your mind hasn't even recognized what's going on.
Yeah. And
that's the whole, like Thanksgiving, you get on the couch, you're like, oh.
Yeah.
Because 15 minutes later, all of a sudden, your brain recognizes, oh, you just ate a lot.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, it's like, oh, what did I do?
Yeah.
So that's meditation,
exactly,
right?
And mindful eating. So
down.
That's a perfect example of functional medicine with Ayurveda, right? So Ayurveda always talks about eating mindfully, chewing 20 times before you swallow. Right. Now we have functional medicine when a patient's leptin level comes back high, because we have amazing blood work and tests we could do in functional medicine, right? Yeah. So we could do genetics, we could do micronutrient testing, we could do all sorts of cardiometabolic markers, we could do gut testing, adrenal testing, hormone testing, all of this, right? So now I have data to show someone, look, your leptin level is through the roof, right? So that means your body, I promise I'm not watching you scarf your food down at the island before you head out the door, and then you're drinking your shake in your car on your way to Manhattan. I promise I'm not spying on you, but your labs are showing that your gut and your mind are not talking to each other. So we need to slow it down. And when they see that in, red, bright red, that, oh my gosh, my leptin's through the roof, and this is why I'm just stuffing my face, then they realize, I got to slow it down. I got to sit down and have my breakfast. Yeah. I got to stop being on conference calls and webinars and podcasts and actually eat mindfully.
Unless it's the Hol Truth Podcast.
Except for the
If it's the Hol Truth Podcast, you do whatever you need to do to get your butt in here. And that's as simple as that. Period.
Of course.
But yeah, it's important.
But slowing down, morning routine in Ayurveda is so big. It's about, sleeping at the right time, right? Getting all these electronic devices away. They didn't exist 5,000 years ago. And how you drink your warm water in the morning, and then you use this cool tongue cleaner, right? Have you ever seen one of these?
I have. I clean my tongue with my toothbrush. Is that
this
better?
Is going to be my gift to you then.
Oh,
because
I love it.
Here's what's happening when
Stainless steel too, not plastic.
Never use plastic, right? But what happens when you use a toothbrush is you're just moving the toxins around.
The bad bacteria?
The bad bacteria. You're not actually scraping them off. So what does tongue cleaning do? Is pulling those out, because you detox at night from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. according to Ayurveda when you sleep. Yeah. Then you pull these toxins off, and then you do something called oil pulling. Right? And what is oil pulling? I
just did it.
Awesome.
This morning.
What oil do you use?
Coconut oil.
Perfect. So what's
coconut oil.
Amazing about coconut oil. So you've heard.
You know what's amazing about coconut oil?
Go tell me.
If you're going to pull with coconut oil, make sure you do it in privacy. Not do not if you're a man or a woman, do not spit it out getting out of your car like I do. They'll think that something fishy's going on because it's really doesn't look good. So I had to go there because coconut oil is it's white. It looks like whale sperm, all right, my man? And you swish it around Christian, you swish it around your mouth, which I just did, and it pulls the toxins out of your sinuses. It's unbelievable. It works. Yeah. I should say it works for me.
It pulls the toxins off your tongue. And what's beautiful, if you go a step deeper from the Ayurveda to the functional medicine, is you've probably heard of monolaurin, right?
I've heard of it.
So what coconut oil, lauric acid comes from coconut oil, which is a biofilm buster. So 5,000 years ago, they didn't have all these drops and these herbal capsules and things like that. They automatically took care of their biofilm by coconut oil pulling.
Yeah.
Isn't that brilliant? Like I feel like so much of what we're doing now, like they already knew 5,000 years ago.
It's amazing.
And like you don't need all these like fancy tests.
No.
It's mostly to prove it to the patient, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Because it's like by this time it's like we know what we're doing and what we're saying about, hey, you need to get to bed in time, but they need their melatonin levels checked. They need their cortisol levels checked, and they need their leaky gut intestinal permeability checked to make those changes that they really have to make.
Right. I do. I think it's fascinating. I think it's fascinating that somehow 5,000 years ago they knew exactly what's just coming around. Everyone's like, coconut oil pulling? What are you talking about? Why are you sucking off a whale and spitting it in the garbage? They did it 5,000 years ago. They were sucking off whales in India. Believe me. I got caught one time. I'm just this, not to prolong this agony for everyone listening. I got caught one time because I was in a rush and I got in the car and I was swishing coconut oil in my mouth. When I got out where I needed to go, I found the garbage. But there was a woman that saw me spitting it out in the garbage, and she gave me a look like, oh my God, what the heck? Just didn't look good. I was getting out of the car, and
to do it in the privacy of your own home. Yes.
And it's a true story to it. But, but coconut oil, this is, it's been around for,
But it's making a comeback now.
And it's so funny, what happened to it? Come on, coconut oil, what happened to you? Where'd you go?
Right.
But it's great.
What were we doing in the meantime? We were all doing those alcohol-based Listerines, which were changing the microbiome, right? It changes the probiotics in your mouth, that alcohol. So now people are realizing the better way to do is support the microbiome, right? It's brilliant.
It's amazing. It's just
can't fool Mother Nature.
No, I always say, stay as close to nature as possible. She's designed everything the way she wants it to be for whatever reason. I don't know, but she has made these set of mushrooms very healthy for you, and these set of mushrooms could kill you. I don't know why she did it that way, but that's the way it was meant to be in my mind. And when we start messing with it, and we take these mushrooms and let me see what I can do with poisonous mushrooms. Let's cook them up and do this and add some stuff and let's see if we can make something out of it. It's where we go wrong.
Yeah.
We just mess with things. Processed food, right? Let's strip the nutrients out. Let's put some bleach, white rice and everything else. Let's make it look nice. And you just messed with Mother Nature. You just screwed up what was perfect. You just didn't need to mess with it.
Absolutely.
So things can be, quite frankly, very simple when you don't need to, mess around.
Yeah.
And drugs, right? So drugs is, that's, some of the stuff is derived from plants. But that plant, whatever, if it's a dark leafy green, it's perfect the way it is.
Right.
Just go right to that source.
Yeah.
Cut the middleman out, the drugs, the pills.
Exactly. And that's a perfect example. So for I treat a lot of heartburn, IBS, gut issues, for example. And people come in on these things called proton pump inhibitors, like Protonix, Nexium, all those for years. They're indicated for, ulcers or GERD, short-term use, 8 weeks. They come in I've been on this for 7 years, 8 years. They're not absorbing their nutrients because of these proton pump inhibitors. So they're getting micronutrient deficiencies, they're getting fibromyalgia, they're getting diabetes, they're getting all these other issues. There's some studies showing that it promotes, can contribute to dementia as well because you're not absorbing what you need, right? And what's so simple is in Ayurveda, 5,000 years ago, they had something called licorice or yashti madhu. Right? So this herb coats your entire gut lining and helps relieve heartburn naturally.
Licorice root.
Licorice root.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah. So we use good. DGL. So people who want a functional medicine solution, we'll do a chewable DGL.
Okay.
Right?
What's the DGL?
A deglycerated licorice, so you don't have to worry about blood pressure issues and things like that, right? But you can heal it with Ayurveda 5,000 years ago. You can heal it with functional medicine. So not everyone needs, they don't have PPI deficiencies.
Yeah.
Right? If they do, if they have an ulcer, fine. But not for your regular run-of-the-mill heartburn.
Yeah, that reminds me.
And
of
then
the
you change your
licorice.
diet. You listen to your body saying,
Yeah.
hey, I'm not agreeing with, Mother Nature's milk. I tried manipulated milk called Lactaid. That didn't work either. Like why are you forcing your body to have foods rather than eliminate what your body's saying don't have it?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It makes sense to me
Yeah.
now that I know. It actually, so it does, all of this stuff makes a lot of sense to me now and for the last 15 years of my life. But, I also, similar to you, want to be, sympathetic and empathetic of people, because I also think that it is also very hard. Because if you one, don't know, and two, you're stuck. Yeah, I was one of them, right? I mean, you just watch. I mean, you're lucky. Your grandmother taught you really the right things at such a young age. She taught you turmeric and nature's food, but most people, if you watch TV, you get brainwashed. I always go back to the Gatorade. I played basketball with Gatorade, right? All right. I didn't think about it. I loved sports. I'm drinking Gatorade. That's just what I do.
Right.
It just becomes a.
Right.
You just get
Because
brainwashed.
you probably saw the Gatorade commercials. There was no coconut water commercials that, hey, you get your electrolytes through coconut water too.
Yeah.
Right?
No, absolutely. You have to really dig deep to find that information, which is kind of a shame. But yeah, I mean, unless you know where to look for coconut, and that's what I use for electrolytes. I use coconut water.
That's
That's
fantastic.
it. That's all you need to use.
Right.
The Gatorade, and that's just one example. And what I'm getting at is that, I'm trying to heal people as well. I'm trying to inspire people to make those lifestyle changes, and I certainly don't want anyone to feel bad. I try to inspire. I'm not trying to make anyone feel bad, and I'm conscious of it, because I think sometimes that I say some things that potentially could come off the wrong way, and that's not what I'm trying to do here. So for those who are drinking Gatorade, there's nothing wrong. It's you didn't do anything wrong. It's hard. It's hard when you have that kind of information coming at you.
It's the same defense of other doctors. They just don't know better, right?
Yeah.
So some people, that's why I say you meet them where they are, and you work with your doctors where they're at, because some of them were just trained in the conventional model. Because patients come to me like, how come no one offered me these options 10 years ago? How come, no one told me that, I was getting Hashimoto's, and, possibly eliminating gluten could impact the course of my disease.
Yeah.
And they just would prescribe me Synthroid, right?
Yeah.
So the doctors didn't know better, the patients didn't know better, and it's okay. Like, the universe brought you to this knowledge when it was meant to come, right?
Yeah, that's a nice way of saying it. For sure. Yeah, I don't think there's anyone I don't think doctors they're going to medical school for a profession and to heal, and they're passionate about it, and it's just the system, right? It's just a broken system, a very tough disease management system that's been manipulated by higher levels up there. I'm the guy who's actually, don't worry about it, I'll say all this stuff. So I'm the guy who throws it out there. There's all this research is biased. All this stuff is funded by the pharmaceutical industry, and it's not independent. So rethinking what we're doing here for health is important, because just because you were taught a certain way or you saw a commercial about this or that does not mean it works. And the nice thing, well, not the nice thing, but I think if you see people around, most people would probably tell you, and you could tell me if I'm right, that it's not working. Because the level of disease, the amount of disease and unhappiness and unhealthiness is just staggering. I think it seems like it gets worse every year.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, you look at the data, like, we're one of the sickest countries in the whole world, right?
It's because we have more.
And it's the sad diet. The standard American diet is just sad, right?
It's terrible. It's awful.
Yeah. But have you ever seen that documentary, Escape Fire?
No.
Oh, you gotta watch it.
Escape Fire? Okay.
It's really eye-opening.
Gotcha. Is it about, what's it about? Now you got me curious.
Well, it's just about, how it's a revolving door of medicine, right? It's it's about refill after refill, and it's about test after test. It's not necessarily about root cause, right?
Yeah.
But it's a really eye-opening documentary.
Well, I guess now Escape Fire?
Escape Fire.
I have to check that out. Well, I mean, I guess if you could, it's kind of sounds horrible. If you could stay sick, and you can keep taking pills and kind of stay in that situation, you kind of, I don't know.
Yeah, but that's why I think we're attracted to what we do, and about educating the world about how you don't need heartburn pills forever. You don't need functional medicine supplements, like, unless they're necessary. Like, you could easily, some people will choose a digestive enzyme instead of cooking up their own CCFT, for example.
What is that?
These are just 3 spices: coriander, cumin, and fennel.
Ah, that's great.
And they're full of power to help you digest things.
Oh, wow.
And so instead of saying, like, oh, I feel like bloated after all my meals and feel sluggish, like, what does every other culture do is, instead of having like an icy, lemonade or Diet Coke before their meals, they're having a warm soup or a warm tea to prime their digestive system in order to be able to digest and get the nutrients that they need.
So the heat is helping with that digestion. Is that why? Is that the hot water in the morning with the lemon? Which I do water and lemon.
Yeah, I think that's really nice to, like, help prime the gut as well for the day, right?
Yeah.
And then this is not just heating; it's what we call tridoshic. It helps balance all of your doshas, right?
Oh, no matter
So
what
there's some cooling aspects to it too, right? So if you think of like what is cilantro or coriander, it's a very cooling herb. So it helps people with heat, like hot foods, for example. So like in digesting meats or in digesting spicy food.
That's so cool.
Like that. But this is 5,000 years old. They didn't run around with like digestive enzymes. They didn't run around with proton pump inhibitors. They had Mother Nature's remedies, right?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And we got some teas here. What do we got?
Yeah. So once I'll give you whatever dosha you are. It's but if you're, for example, if you're a Vata dosha, which is typically more of like a person who has like air element. So if you think of someone who like talks fast, thinks fast, is very creative but kind of forgetful, they tend to get more airy diseases. So things like constipation, IBS, anxiety, ADHD, arthritis, air in the joints, for example.
Interesting.
Right? So what we want to do is do grounding for them. So what do we look at in terms of spices? We look at licorice, which is a root, which is very grounding.
So
we
cool.
look at ginger, also a root, very grounding. Cinnamon bark.
Stay close to that mic.
Sorry, I'm learning this.
That's all good.
World. So we use food as medicine, and tea is a super simple, dilute way to get people the spices they need.
Yeah.
Right?
Can I see what's in that?
So,
What else?
Yeah.
Tea? Look
So
at
that's a Vata tea.
My eyes are going on me. What do I need for my eyes besides carrots? It's not really even carrots. It's not even good for your eyes.
Vitamin A, the astaxanthin, zeaxanthin, lutein. There's lots of great things for
Look
your
at this
eyes.
stuff.
Yeah. So then similarly, like if you see, like this is a Pitta tea, which is very cooling, right?
Okay.
And so when you look at the ingredients here, it's got things that are very cooling. So similar to that, like licorice is cooling. And then look at this ingredient, rose. So when you think of a rose,
like rose hips,
rose petals.
Okay.
Yeah, rose is very soothing and cooling to them, right? So it helps. So Pitta people are typically like the fiery people. So like really good leaders, really good, CEOs, things like that. But then they can get fiery at some point, like can tend to have anger outbursts, or they can get like acne or heartburn or any of those itises, right? So like liver issues, cholesterol issues, like liver is the source of heat, right? So this is about cooling them down, right? So with food as medicine.
That's cool.
Kapha people, typically more earthy people,
Okay.
right? So they tend to be a little bit more sluggish. They tend to be a little bit more laid back, and they tend to get more of those like cumulative diseases. So like obesity or thyroid issues or fibroids and things that are close to the earth.
That's
so
neat.
they need more stimulation, the opposite, right? So they get things that are warming, like ginger and cloves and black pepper, cardamom, turmeric, and saffron. right?
Yeah.
So this is a great way, like especially if a lot of people don't cook with a lot of spices, right? So this is a nice way to give them a tea every day where they're getting, Mother Nature's medicine.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, you're welcome to try all of them if you'd like.
I definitely want to try it.
Good.
I definitely want to try it. So when would you have that? Like whenever you want? Or would you have it in the morning?
So these are caffeine free. They're all organic.
Okay.
Right. So typically, like, people tend to say, "Hey, Dr. V, I hit this 2:00 slump. I'm really tired. Like, I feel like I need to reach for a coffee."
Yeah.
At that point, I say, well, then your adrenals can use a boost, right? So all of these will kind of give you a nice lift without the caffeine and also balance out your doshas. But some people like it in the morning, so it's very personal.
Yeah. I think I might too. I do too much coffee. I think it's time for me to do a little bit more tea.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what I am. I think I'm like a mix of these things.
You probably are, and
Yeah.
we'll go ahead and you want to do it on
Let's do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Test me out.
All right.
What's my dosha? I gotta get some water in me. I need to drink a lot of water.
That's good.
Typically not this, but it's all good.
Not in
Sometimes even if
plastic.
it's a plastic bottle, you gotta do it.
Yeah.
Right. Well, the water is good because we're 85% water.
Absolutely.
So we're made of so much water that we gotta.
All I would talk to you about is the temperature of that water. That's
Yeah,
all.
it's cold.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
not
the
great.
water's great.
You don't think so?
Well, think about it. Like
Yeah.
your digestive enzymes, right? They're meant to be at the body temperature Mother Nature meant it for us to be, right? Roughly 98.6. That's up or down a little. But what do we do when we have cold water, icy water? We dilute those digestive enzymes and we kind of freeze them up. So all proteins need to be at a certain temperature, right? So now say you go and I don't know what you, but say you're going to go have like a big steak right after this. That steak is not going to be able to digest itself.
Okay.
If you had warm water or room temperature water, it would have been closer to your physiologic digestive enzymes, right?
That's interesting.
Right? So like think about it as like if you're going to like put your hand in like snow or a bucket of ice.
Right.
Like you kind of lose a little bit of circulation, right?
Right.
So that's what's happening when we have cold or icy water. It's like in the gut, the cells are all like, ah.
Huh. Never
Does that
thought
make
about that.
sense?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. So
I do
but
the
these are
warm
just
water in the
like-
morning.
Yeah, these are just like
No, it's good.
5,000-year-old, biohacks.
You know what? There are biohacks that have been around for 5,000 years, which means if they're still around, they work. That's
True.
because if they didn't work, they wouldn't be around.
Absolutely.
Because why would they be around? What's the point of?
And like think about meditation, right? Which is making a comeback. Like that's been around forever.
Forever.
Right? And now we have all this amazing Harvard research to support it that wow, like in a meditation naive patient, like they do these things called functional MRIs, right?
Yeah.
And they look at them before and then they teach them to meditate and then they redo the MRIs 8 weeks later and they see that your brain can actually change. Like that's neuroplasticity at its best.
That's
right?
great.
So like that's been around 5,000 years.
Yeah,
And
it's amazing.
we're all coming back to it now.
Wow, the MRI and this. So they've done MRIs on these.
Functional MRIs, and these are like very legit universities, like all over the country, all over the world. So
That's so cool.
It's amazing.
Bow, bow, bow. How do you get meditation with the damn fire trucks flying around here? Sometimes you just roll with it, right? Something happens, you just
the ocean,
you
right?
just roll with
to
it.
Ground you.
Bow, bow. I've Dr. Vazirani in here, you bastards. Quit interrupting us. It's all good. Laughter is medicine too, so I try to make this fun and do some laughter.
Absolutely.
It gets a little crazy, but I also got
Yeah.
the tongue scraper, got the tea, we got the
What else do we got? We got Garshna gloves, silk gloves. So have you heard of dry brushing?
skin brushing.
Yeah. Yep,
Okay, so
exactly.
so skin brushing.
Yeah, so this is also a 5,000-year-old biohack, right? So it helps to improve blood flow. It helps reduce AMA, which is like toxin
Can we open that up?
accumulation. Oh yeah,
So
sure.
so everyone can see.
Yeah,
that is
you
cool.
Put them on your hand. But like if you have ever hung out with Nikki, I think she's also a fan of dry brushing. She uses different gloves. But here, try them on.
Check that out.
So they're a little bit rough, but they're silk. And what do? Is like, you'll see, like, they stimulate lymphatic circulation, they detoxify the liver, boost your skin glow. There you go. And exactly, to detox, you
And
want
it's
to
gentle,
move
so it's
towards
not
the
even
heart.
that. It's not even that
Very
hard.
gentle. Very
Yeah,
gentle.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like what the dead skin cells. It's getting the
Yep,
dead skin
and then
cells
your
off.
lymph is getting moved along, right? So you do that, and then you go for a shower. And then yeah. See, I bought you all sorts of Ayurvedic presents.
No,
And
this
these
is
are
great
all
stuff.
5,000-year-old biohacks, and they're
It's
all
unbelievable.
coming back. Like, now we go to
Yeah.
Dean's, right?
Yeah.
We both are Dean's shoppers. You see, like, they have all of this stuff. Like, they've got tongue cleaners. They've got all sorts of amazing teas. They've got dry brushes.
Yeah.
They've got it all.
It's always worked.
Yeah.
It's amazing. That I can't figure out. I mean, this stuff has always worked.
Another one
Where
that
has
I
it gone?
do-
I'm not
this
quite
is-
sure, but
This one's from Dean's, too, I think. Tulsi. Have you heard of holy basil?
yeah.
Yeah.
Holy
so
basil. Okay.
This is one of my favorite.
That's good for stress,
adaptogens.
right?
Yep. So it's an adaptogenic herb from Ayurveda. Again, 5,000 years old. It was like a holy plant. So I remember, like, my grandma one of her morning rituals was to go water her tulsi plant every day
Oh wow.
and have a leaf. And
so
now
cool.
we do it as a tea because amazing, right? It is caffeine free, 100%. But it's stress relieving, so it brings your, like, stress level down if you need it to. But
Right.
it's also energizing. So if you need a burst of energy, it's going to give that to you. There's no pharmaceutical out there that can do
Yeah.
both. But this is the power of whole
Really?
herbs.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, herb. Yeah, Mother Nature, right? Herbs.
Yeah. So it's,
This is interesting stuff because this is because I'm thinking about myself right now. There's times where, like, I can get high and I can also get low. Like, I think I have a hard time staying in the middle.
mm-hmm.
I try to meditate. I do meditate, and I calm myself down, and I try to slow down. But these teas are kind of piquing my interest because I do hit a certain point where, like, I feel like I'm, like, a little high, and then I feel like I'm, like, going a little low. I feel like I need to kind of, like, get a little bit more balance, get
Yeah.
like right in the middle. But this might do it. So this would do it, right?
try it out. You'll never know unless
Yeah.
you try.
Agree.
Right?
You got it.
All right. You ready for your tongue exam?
Let's. Oh my yes.
Okay.
Oh, it's my tongue
We're
exam.
going to do your tongue. And
All right,
I thought
you
that's
got-
why you're drinking the water.
Well, now I gotta drink warm water so my tongue is in better shape.
It's all good.
All right, tongue
It's all
exam.
good. So
Yeah,
we'll start
so-
with your tongue. So
You got.
stick your tongue out at me. Big, big, big. All right. Can you zoom in on his tongue there? All right. So what you'll see is a little bit of a whitish coating, right? So you can use your.
That was the coconut oil.
You can use the. No, actually, it's much cleaner because of the coconut oil.
Okay.
Yeah, so the coconut oil is doing great things for you. So you can use this, right? And then what I do see is a little bit of heat in the middle. So we want it, especially because it's summer season, we probably want to do some cooling things.
This is great. This is unbelievable. So okay.
Right? And so think about this. I don't have an endoscopy. I don't need to go look down into your gut, but
Uh-huh.
I can see that, we need some cooling stuff. So I'd probably give you some pitta tea here.
So would you
Right.
do this throughout the day?
Just when you brush your teeth in the morning.
In the morning.
Or at night, yeah.
Gotcha.
Whenever you're doing your oil
No, I love
pulling.
this. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
All right, so now let's do your pulses.
So what do you
Okay.
what are you actually seeing? So you can actually, that's amazing. You can
So
see
I
certain
should
things on the
have brought
tongue.
a map. So like, have you ever seen an acupuncturist?
Yes, it's been a while, but yes.
So like they'll do the same thing. They'll take a look at your tongue. They'll feel your pulses.
Yeah.
And their system is similar but kind of different from ours. But
Gotcha.
same thing. You're able to see a lot in
Yeah.
someone's tongue.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And like eyes and everything, right?
Yeah.
Like even the neck.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
So, all right. So the best way to do these pulses is: are your arms relaxed? You want to make sure.
Are
that-
my arms relaxed?
Yes.
Oh.
All right. And then what
Just
we
totally
like
relaxed.
to do? Are they relaxed? Here, let's do one at a time. Okay. Relax.
Just go limp, like totally
Yeah,
relaxed.
Yeah, relax. Take yourself to a. Okay. So now this is probably not the best time of day to do this because remember it's like around lunchtime. You told me you're kind of hungry, right? So I'd expect your pitta pulse, the fire pulse, to be high. So the best time to do this is first thing in the morning,
Okay.
right? To get the most accurate one. But right now, it's looking like your Pitta Vata pulse is the predominant. So the fiery, airy pulses.
Pitta Vata.
Pitta Vata right now.
Potentially because I'm getting hungry?
So your Pitta is the highest, but that could be influenced by your hunger level, right?
Interesting. I am getting hungry.
Yeah. See,
So Pitta Vata. So Pitta is what? Water and fire? Should I not talk when you're doing this?
I can connect with your pulses better. Yeah. Okay. So now you can talk. Tell me.
So that's Pitta Vata?
That's where you're at right now. Yep. So this is a great book if you're interested in learning more about the pulse, because what do they teach us in med school is just look at, regular rate and rhythm, and then eventually even us med students got replaced by these pulse oximeters, like these little machines that they put on your finger and then just read out a number. So we've lost that magic touch, like that doctor-patient, the healer touch, because you can tell so much by like touching a patient. Right?
That's amazing.
Yeah. So this is a fantastic book by a guy named Dr. Vasant Lad. He's out in New Mexico, and he's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So like it goes through like things like what is the quality of your pulse, right? And then it kind of gives you, some of the medical correlations, like Vatas tend to run higher pulse, Pittas tend to be like a medium pulse, Kaphas are like super slow, like heart rates in general.
So they're chill. Kaphas are like chill people.
They're chill, earthy, like what's up, like
let's
hang out,
let's smoke some weed. Let's chill.
That's exactly a Kapha.
That's
person.
a Kapha.
Hang out on the couch.
So I am Pitta and Vata.
That's where you're at right now. That doesn't mean that it's not going to change over time.
Water, fire, air, space. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Less earthy. I got a little earthy in me, but then
you got some earthy. Yeah, you're right.
A little
you have
bit,
some, but
I'm
for
a
the
mix.
most part, you want things that are cooling and grounding for you.
That's so cool. I just think this stuff's just incredible. I love it. Yeah,
it's good stuff.
It is. What else do you got?
Oh,
You got a whole bunch of stuff, huh?
I think we covered most of this stuff.
All right.
So obviously, like I make my own CCFT, but for if people don't want to make their own, it's super simple. But you can actually get CCFT.
Now CCFT. What was that again? CCFT.
Coriander, cumin, and fennel.
Oh, okay.
I
Gotcha.
like to buy all organic seeds, of course. And,
Right.
I'm sure they're at Dean's.
Yes. There's a plug for Dean's.
Hi, Dean. Make sure he watches this.
Oh, he will. He
All
will.
right.
We'll make sure that he does.
But if you don't want to make your own from the seeds, it's just 1-to-1 ratios of everything.
Yeah.
You can actually purchase it, but it's super simple. All you got to do is boil it in water, strain the seeds, and then you sip on it. And you have it
Pretty easy.
by 6 p.m. And what's it going to do? It's going to help be like a gentle detox. You
Yeah.
don't necessarily need a fancy functional medicine shake. Like, yes, you could do, a fancy shake if you want to, but this is a 5,000-year-old super easy cleanse that you can do, right?
Absolutely.
So, yes.
Absolutely.
So I love combining the best of both worlds.
Yeah. Well, I loved combining with you for this podcast. It was awesome. We're definitely like-minded. You're brilliant.
Absolutely.
You bring the energy. You bring the positive energy, the smile.
So do you.
It's the environment, right? So it's a lot. It's about everything. But you know what? I brought something else here.
Okay.
Check this out.
All right.
It's just a little tool, but it's cool.
Okay.
And it's called the Circle of Life. And I use this with my clients. And this helps them identify what they need to work on, where their strengths and weaknesses are. But it goes over everything. So to the point of like holistic health, it's what's going on. Home environment, home cooking, physical activity, education, career, finances, creativity, spirituality. Because it is about the whole picture, right?
Yeah. Oh, I love this tool.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah.
So my clients fill it out, and we see.
And then you map it. So what do you do with this then? Like when it's like this?
Well, you map it out, right? So you can kind of connect the dots, but you use it as a guide. So now you can clearly see what needs work. So let's just take hypothetically like someone whose social life is not doing too well. 10 being the best, they're at like a 2.
So this is like a 2 and that's a 10.
Yeah. So
Okay.
2, and this would be 10.
Got it. Okay.
So, ideally again, it's a visual. So you'll know where you're at. So you can go back to it at all times and then throughout the months to see, what's getting better.
I see. Yeah, that's really neat.
Education, I wish I went back to school. Okay, maybe it's a 5. Career, I hate my job. I don't know, it's a 0. I love my job. Let's be positive. I love my job. I love my job. Yeah, I love my job.
It's such a blessing to do what we do.
Yes, it is. I love it.
I feel like where else do you get the opportunity to connect with people at such a deep level?
I love it. It absolutely is incredible. And you know what also is so great, and I am thankful, it's the stuff that works. So I feel good about it because I feel like I'm giving people what actually works.
Yeah.
Instead of I won't it's not the Band-Aid medicine.
Yeah.
It's not the quick fix. Unfortunately, I don't have the magic pill. It's not easy, but if we get through this and we change your lifestyle, we'll reverse all of these chronic health issues.
Yeah.
And as you know, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but in my mind, I fully believe that every chronic health issue can be reversed. Cancer, I'm not telling people not to do what to do and what not to do, but I believe all of these health issues can be reversed. All of them. All of them, all of them. Hit by a bus, please go to the hospital. Chronic health issues, they can all be reversed and have been.
Yeah, absolutely.
In some cases have been.
And even if people choose a middle path, right? Like I always encourage them, like if you need a gastroenterologist or a rheumatologist, keep them on board.
Right.
And we walk the middle path. We take the best of both worlds.
Yes.
But integrative medicine can only help because it gets to the root of things. If they need, a machete drug to knock down their immune system, that's what they need at that time in their life. But in the meantime, we can work on having an anti-inflammatory diet, eliminating what needs to be eliminated, healing the gut, getting, the stress under control, getting, if they're unhappy with, where they are with their cooking or their home environment, making the changes that they need to make. Yeah. And that's the beauty of integrative medicine, right? It takes
stunning.
The best of all worlds of medicine and ancient cultures and modern medicine.
Yeah. And this is too, I love this tool because, again, I think it really, because there's so much here, and I think it's hard for people to realize, oh, you know what? That's what's going on.
Yeah. So how do you work with them? Do you, do 1 week of spirituality, 1 week of finances, 1 week of physical activity? How do you do your coaching then?
So I will have them fill this out in the very beginning, and then we identify where the problems are and what to work on. So obviously, as you know, every individual's unique and different, and there's different stuff going on. So we identify, let's just say, I'll pick a couple. Let's just say relationships in one particular case, social life, and career. So in one case I can think of, those are 3 things that really need to be worked on. And those things are creating bad decisions, or I shouldn't say bad decisions, but unhealthy decisions when it comes to physical activity and certainly food. So we identify those 3 things, and I hold them accountable to make certain small changes. Smart goals, realistic goals, slowly but surely. So I try not to give my clients too much because I feel less is more these days. So I'm not big on giving tons of handouts and tons of homework. I'm big on making 1 or 2 smart goals and slowly but surely, gradually changing them, because I just think people can't handle too much.
Yeah.
Because there's just so much going on.
Right.
But this allows me to know, and I think about it, and I use my 2 ears and not my mouth. I do like to talk, and that's why I have this podcast. And I see what's going on. And then that's where we start to reverse engineer it. You just reverse engineer it. And easier said than done, right? Because it's hard work.
Yeah.
If someone has a terrible job they hate, you're at least identifying the root cause. The home environment, it's not going so well. Okay, well, we need to figure out together what we need to do to change this.
I love it.
Spend more time with your spouse.
30 minutes, every night before you go to bed instead of TV. And I'm making things up.
Right.
But potentially in this case, spend 30 minutes instead of watching TV, spend it with your wife or your husband. Mm-hmm. Go for a walk together.
Yeah.
And the clients kind of tell me what they want. Mm-hmm. I'm the guide. I mean, they know better than anyone. I mean, I'm not them. I'm the guy that's holding them accountable and making sure that they follow through with these things,
right,
and kind of keep them on track. But innately, they know what to do. They just need a little help.
Absolutely.
Identifying what's happening. And that's where I come in. You're saying this is what's going on, and we inspire you to start doing some of these things. And I think, what's tough for some people is that everyone wants a fast result, and it's not a fast result. It's a slow result.
Yeah.
Because it is, it's just, that's the way it works, right?
I think this is like the missing link. Like in integrative medicine, we can tell them, okay, we need to, work on your sleep. We need to get rid of the gluten, or we need to, take the following things out of your diet and go clean up your pantry, and then, get your home environment in order. But we won't see them for another 3 months, and it's overwhelming.
Yeah.
And health coaching is such a great link, because then they have someone that can break it down into one thing at a time, SMART goals, hold them accountable, then move forward, like help take the baby steps with them, hold their hand.
Yeah.
And then when they'll see me again in 3 months, 6 months, whatever it is, they'll be totally transformed.
I think it becomes out of sight, like a little out of sight, out of mind.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like, I'm ready to do it. I'm ready to do it. And then it's kind of like slowly but surely everything kind of sets in.
Out.
It's like, so I think it's the accountability. It's the accountability. Okay, I have to talk to John. What was my goal? Okay, I have to do this.
That's
You're
awesome.
kind of holding someone to the fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly what the missing link is.
Yeah.
So that's why I feel like, as integrative medicine doctors, we need more health coaches to help support patients through these journeys, because lifestyle transformation is not easy.
No.
And this is exactly what people need.
It's the hard stuff, actually. It's harder than the quick pill. It's easy to get the quick pill. It's hard to do the lifestyle changes. But if there's someone who's willing to make those changes, and there are, you have to obviously meet people where they're at. Though, chronic health issues will be reversed. They will. Mm-hmm. You see it. I know you see it all the time.
Oh, it's amazing. I mean, I can't even tell you, things that in med school where they're like, oh, this person will need, steroids forever, or this person will need, whatever. They don't. Yeah. They don't always need a drug.
Yeah.
I mean, the answer is not in a pill. The answer is in their lifestyle. Yeah.
So I was gonna wrap it up, but I had to throw that. I forgot about that. But now we'll wrap it up. But listen, again, thank you. You bring it. I mean, I love what you're doing. We're like-minded. We need to work together, for sure. We need to figure something out. And thanks for coming on the show. We'll promote it on social media with John. Hey, buddy, you can't see him, but he's back there. John came in.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a true honor.
Thank you. Dr. Minal Vazirani, triple board certified. Go see her in your Warren, New Jersey.
Yep, and at Barnabas Health Ambulatory Care Center, we're on social media, on Facebook, and also on Instagram at Functional Ayurveda MD. So
we're gonna blast it out there.
We'll see you
Adios,
online.
amigos.
Bye-bye.
Peace.
Thanks.